Philippe, firstly, we'll start with the transfer window. Obviously, a busy day yesterday. How do you reflect on the window overall?
No, not only yesterday. I will try to get my voice back. No, it's been really busy months and weeks. I spoke about that last season, at the end of last season, that it was end of a cycle in the club. I don't think everybody realized truly what I was talking about, but you had a squad where a lot of players were over their 30s, would not progress anymore, would not become better anymore than they were. You had players who were end of contract, who were going to leave the club also. So in that way, for the moment, we have 16 players from the squad of last season who are not here anymore. And there's still possibility, not from the players who are in the squad training, but from players who are not training with the squad, that they will still leave the club now. So that's a lot. That's for sure an end of a cycle. And it was also in staff that we had to make some changements, what we did. So yeah, it's a massive rebuild. And we looked at 4 layers in that way, to get experienced players in the building, like the Proppers and the Janis and the Liam Kellys and those kind of players. And now with Bajrami also. We were looking for high potential young players who could step in short term to do directly the job, but could be added value for the future. And you can say the Diamantes, Cortez, Conor Barron, and I can continue like that, the Yeftes. Then the young potentials who are more for the long term. And then also to give chances more to academy players. So we worked in that way in all the transfer window. Of course, the more money that comes into the club, the more money you can spend. So that's been not much because of the situation and the legacy of the past and the contracts of the past. So we had to work with that, and we knew, and it's important to use that word also, we, because it's not an I story, it's a we story. That means the board, me, recruitment. We knew that it would take time, and probably it would not be possible also in one transfer window, although everybody made the biggest efforts to do as much as possible this window already.
Can you tell us a bit about Bajrami, who you obviously brought in at the kind of final minute last night?
About the 2 players.
2 players, yeah.
It's 2. Yeah. So Nana, and I prefer to say his first name because the second one is a little bit more complicated. He's a versatile defender. So important thing for me also is used of playing in Feyenoord, in the Cup, in a stadium where you have a similar atmosphere as Ibrox, with fans who are demanding, who are on top of the players, who are on top of the pitch. So he has the experience, although he's a young player. And also with Holland Under 21, also playing abroad already. So he can give us versatility to be one of the centre backs, but also can play on right or left fullback. He played there. So he gives more depth in the squad in that way. And with Nedim Bajrami, we have somebody with experience, also at the highest levels, like at the Euros, who can play in midfield, but also can play on the wings. So that helps the squad also in its totality.
You mentioned that there might still be people leaving the club. Janis Haji is still at the club, I think, as we speak. Can you give us any update on his future, if there's any developments there?
No, I cannot say anything now, because there's not really a development for the moment. No.
You still expect him to be at the club? Could he be integrated back in, or you still expect him to leave the club?
We spoke about that months ago, really open and honest with him and his agent also, that we don't see him to become the next number 10 for Rangers for the next couple of years. So to look out for other opportunities. So that story stays the same, and for sure with Bajrami now in the building, you have this situation.
If you're unable to move Janis on, Is there any way he becomes reintegrated rather than sit and
we will see those things in the future. I will not say anything about that now.
How satisfied are you with the work that you've done in this transfer window? Do you feel the score's stronger than it was last season?
It's not what I've done, it's what we have done all together with the sources that were available, let's say it like that. So I think there's a lot of things done already, but it's not only short term, it's also long term. And we had to do that as a club. If we only would go for short term, for sure it would have cost more money, and that was also not possible. And we need to create value also for the future of this club, that you don't keep on going in the same cycle that was going on, because the last couple of years, now six left, end of contract, so no added value to the club. But the years before, you had also several of those. I remember Ryan Kent and Murillo's leaving also the club, and they were high assets, and the years before they were worth a lot of money. So yeah, that's a legacy from the past that we cannot change in one transfer window, but it created also a more difficult situation for everybody. But I believe that everybody together found a lot of young talent, a lot of exciting talent, and it's now about working hard with them to develop them and make them better, and with keeping also an experienced core that can guide them on and off the pitch in the dressing room. So we had a tough challenge to find a balance in that.
Are Nedim and Nerai fit, available? Will they be involved tomorrow?
Nedim is fit, but his paperwork is not totally done, so he will not be available. Nana will be available, but he only trained one time with the squad and he's just new here, so those are things also to take in consideration, of course.
Anything else on the injury front for tomorrow?
The only thing that Ridvan Yilmaz is still out like planned, but for the rest, everybody's available. So that's also one important part of this rebuild, to get a fitter squad than we had last season.
How important, nothing will be decided tomorrow in terms of the title this early in the season, but how important is it to come away from Celtic Park with a positive result? It's
always very important, and for everything. For the fans, we know it's the game of the season. For us also, it's your biggest rival. It's 3 important points in the league, but like you say, you have 34 games also after. For perception also, because I think because of a lot of situations, there's been a more negative perception around the club with the stadium, with elimination for the Champions League, although the circumstances, all these things. And people forget sometimes also to see what's going on well. Last game we won with 6-0, and it could have been more than 6. People say me that it was 4 years ago, or a little bit more than 4 years ago that happened. So it's not all bad. And this is an exciting project, exciting squad also now to build on. It's not a finished article, and I know we're going to play against a team who has a lot of experience, who played a long time together, who played a lot of European games, Champions League games, the league games, all together, getting this experience, learning out of that. They will replace one player, probably by a player who was there last season, so he trained with them, so they know everything together. And we are the young, exciting team who want to challenge that now. But I believe we also have the quality to challenge that and to go full for the 3 points. And we're going to go full for that. But the finished article is not yet here. That's normal because we are rebuilding a lot. Replacing 16 players, you don't do that in 5 trainings or something. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the game of tomorrow because it's going to be a great challenge for my squad.
Philippe, just to check, is Oscar Cortez back if Ridvan's the only player injured?
He's back in training, yes. It's now, of course, building up his game fitness, but he's back in training, full in training, yes.
There's 2 more in this section, Stevie.
Philippe, is that the exciting thing for you now, that you've got these young players that you can help develop. Is that what helps kind of fuel your excitement as a coach?
Yeah, but I don't need young players for that. Okay, I'm somebody who's not afraid of that. To work with young players and to give them chances. It's not that I want a whole squad with young players. It's also the situation that you need to look at the market and what things cost and what's then the most interesting for the club for the moment. So I know it's more risky, of course, with young talents who don't have the experience, how they're going to react to the next step. It's difficult to predict, and nobody can predict that fully. And you have really positive stories already, I think. If you see the level that Conor Barron or Jefte are showing these last weeks, that's already higher than everybody expected. Maybe less me, but a lot of people from outside about their qualities where they were before in their career. So they're making the good steps, and others need maybe a little bit more time for that. So we're going to work really hard every day on that to make things better and better, like I've seen the progression also the last couple of weeks.
Philippe, what did you make of the Europa League draw the other day?
Yeah, also challenging, but I think it's a good thing. So I watched the Champions League draw, I watched the Europa League draw, and if I see the group we're in now, I think some Champions League draw, I don't say it's easier, but it's maybe less challenging and less big teams in, like having Tottenham and Man U in that group. There are other Champions League draws not in that way. So it's a great challenge for my squad in that way. Because you play against the best, and there you learn the most. And we had it before also in Bruges. These Champions League games helped young players a lot also to learn lessons, and you've been challenged in a different way than you are in the league. So no, I think it's a positive thing for the club. Of course, towards results, the higher the level is, the more difficult it is, but we're going to go full for that.